Hello and welcome to What's for Today. Today's topic is we have no idea. We are just going to decide as to what we're going to do for today. So, before we decide on the topic, we do have a very important guest with us today. We have Rishi Nair, and along with Rishi Nair, we also have a very important guest who I always say is an important guest, but is just there all the time. Nitin Noni. So, Nitin
Hey
and
guys.
Rishi, say hello to the
Hey,
listeners. Thank you for that. Okay, and Rishi, can you just give us a small brief who you are? What should the listeners know about you?
well, like Nitin and Sean, I've also been born and brought up in the UAE. And unlike Sean, I'm still in the UAE. I don't know why you betrayed us, Sean, but fine, we are still here.
Someone has to betray someone.
But yeah, I'm working as an HR in an automobile company, and I'm just
Okay, so you're an HR person.
passing my life over
Okay,
here.
so you're an HR with an automobile company.
Like, what
Yeah,
the-
that's fine.
So what's for today? So we got like a lot of professions out there, like a lot of wage cut, a lot of salary cut, job issues, everything. But there's one field where the money keeps coming in and going out there, and that is the sports field. So where does the money come from there? I know even they're also suffering right now, but not as the other field compared to. But what is the secret behind this? So we've been mainly talking about sports and money because we there. It's kind of scripting, but still, it's huge money involved there. So Rishi, what's your take on this, on sports and money? Like, what do you think the secrets behind that? Any suggestions or idea on that?
Well, money is important regardless of where it's used, meaning sports, life, whatever, money is important. And thanks to money in sports, we have seen improvements, like for example, VAR in football, or in cricket also we have the referral systems. And thanks to money, you could even say, we have got the IPL, we have got, the NFL in America, which is the richest league in the world. And I, for one, feel money is important. I do feel that the sports persons are paid a bit too much, but I think that's just part and parcel.
Yeah, you said part of the puzzle, but don't you think like really a youngster being overpaid and then he just fails to the media witch hunt and his career getting destroyed out there?
But unfortunately, that is what you get when you're paid. You If you perform, no, everyone praises you. If you don't, they
So
hate you.
what I suggest is why don't the league like the honors, like I mean the administrative team, put a wage cap. Let the player choose which team he wants to play for, and he should be only offered a certain wage cap. What do you think about this?
It's a good idea, but then for that to happen, it should be heavily regulated,
Hmm.
and there are always ways to go ahead with it. Like for example, the IPL itself, we have the auction system where there is a base price, and the players are paid. But you have seen how players are just overpaid, and in the end they don't perform also, and still they manage to get a huge salary the next season.
Like, see, speaking about that, it depends on the team management as well. If you see like a big achievers like Mumbai Indians, they have got like each and specific coach for each category. Actually, they got a separate team for the youth management. So if you're investing big on the players, then it should be that they even looked after as well. It's not like, yeah, it's not
Yes,
like
I
you
agree.
pay for them for 1 or 2 seasons and you just throw them out if they're not performing. Like, you need to back them up. I've seen like few teams like Mumbai Indians, KKR, where they really back up the youngsters and they try to get the best out of them. Like they pay the huge amount, but they back them up. But even there are other teams also in the league who just like takes a youngster, plays him one game, and then just bench him off, and then they just you see him in the auction pool again. So isn't that like a negative
But
mindset for the player as well, that he's being ignored and it's not, won't that make a this thing? Won't his performance go down? Won't his
but if you think about it, in Mumbai Indians, agreed they are paying a lot, but uh, they don't pay over the top for the youngsters. And also, Mumbai Indians have a very successful team, but Mahela Jayawardene is the lowest paid coach among all the 10 coaches in the team. In all the 10, they are in all the 8 teams,
Okay, so
and also in players.
I'm sorry
yeah, sorry.
to cut you off. The thing is, when you mentioned, okay, so
Yeah,
upfront and telling this thing, it's sort of a disclaimer. I am zero in sports. I play sports, but I don't watch. Therefore, I'm a zero on this. But my question to you was, when you're talking about Jayavardhan, right? So Jayavardhan, if I'm right, correct me if I'm wrong, he is the player of the yesteryear, as in like the batch of
Yeah.
Azharuddin and other, right? Azharuddin
Mm,
or the one after that.
No,
after that, right? After
it's
After
that.
that.
after that.
Okay. So Mike, so do
After
you
that.
think that sports was as monetized back then as it is today?
No.
So then why the shift then? Why do you think that there's a shift from
No.
what it was before and how it is now?
It's become very highly monetized now. Internet, mainly internet, and the easy access of TVs and laptops to everyone else. Meaning, 20 years back, a middle class family wouldn't easily get a TV with dish or cable support for watching matches. But now, thanks to Jio and Reliance, it's easy for them to watch matches. You get in Hotstar, you can watch matches for free
On
in
demand. Like
Hotstar.
even Amazon is showing few football matches.
On-
I've heard.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So,
For the Boxing Day especially, they're showing the matches for free for the Prime
yeah.
holders.
So
So it is easier
in,
now.
in tandem with that, do you think that the public image of the player, right? Does that have something to do with the cost of the player as opposed to the performance of the player?
It's more of the player having a brand image. Like for example, now in Manchester United, Paul Pogba, he is a brand of his
Mhm.
own. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's earning a lot when he's posting something on Instagram. And if whether he performs or he doesn't, people look and say like, "Oh, look at Paul Pogba's new hairstyle," and they are amazed and they just want to do
Hmm.
that. And then to top it off, yes, he performs once in a while and he'll score goals.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
So
Rishi.
right now,
I'm
what
sorry.
it
I
has
disagree
become?
with you that
Yeah.
he doesn't score goals.
Hmm.
Okay.
He's
So
go okay. See, I'm not a United fan, but he is a good player.
I'm sorry.
I don't know what is
Yeah.
wrong with him with United, but in France he
Yeah,
plays well.
I get it. Maybe it's like he needs a good system around him to perform or something like that. But United is seeing him as I would say, like a cash cow. They're just trying to use him for all the marketing activities, jersey sales, and everything. They're just trying to milk the maximum out of
No,
him.
I agree with you. I agree with you. In fact, I remember when Pogba signed and the first season he had a poor season. I mean, not that he's doing anything great now, but after the first season, I asked a fellow Manchester United fan and I asked him, like, whatever money we spent on Paul Pogba, we got it back with the jersey sales,
Exactly.
with the shirt sales.
Hmm.
So I was like, are you Manchester United the football club or Manchester United the department store that you're worrying about, shirt sales?
So
So it's up to that.
just picking up from where Rishi said, the moment the people are considering the marketing, like the jersey sales, the money you're getting back. So even the football, like the club owners, also think the same way. They don't care about where the club is finishing. As far as you're making the profit out there, it's fine. Fans can be like handle or do something about that. Give them some good big signing. Who cares about the club? As far as they're getting the money, trophies doesn't matter for them. So this money images like totally spoil like all traditional clubs actually.
In fact, what Nitin has said, it's happening with Arsenal. It was a club filled with a lot of history and they have performed so well, but now all they care about is getting profit. They are right now not even in the Champions League. They are just floundering, and the last I saw they were losing the match they're playing right now, and it's just tragic because all they care about is getting money and nothing else.
okay. So Nitin, I just want to confirm something that you said. You're saying that the managers, the what do you call it, the team managers, right? So they don't really bother about as to how was a team. What did you say? What's a club? Sorry. So club
Yeah.
managers who are there, so they don't bother much about the performance as long as they're getting the profit into the team.
No, see, I'll tell you,
Right.
the club owners, they hire the team manager to get the team going, have the training sessions, tactical approach, everything. He and his staff will be there,
Mhm.
and there'll be someone like the chairman of the club who handles the transfers. Some clubs have the director of football who handles the transfers. Some clubs, the chairman directly comes and handles it. He and the corners, they make
Right.
the plan. Yeah, so make sure they take it.
Okay,
Sometimes
so
these
the reason why I
managers are
asked
left
that.
with, yeah, the managers are left with an unbalanced squad actually. They won't have good depth or something like that. So when the fans go
Okay, so
like Birask in the 1 minute, I just missed it. When the fans go Birask on the social media, the managers become the scapegoat and they get fired out there. So this
okay, so
cycle keeps on
I'm sorry,
continuing.
I cut in between. My network is getting cut in
Yes, yes,
between.
sure.
Sorry, my network is cutting in between. I'm also cutting in between. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry
no
for that.
worries.
So so when you're saying that
No
the
worries, no worries.
fans are going berserk in the okay, so the reason why I asked you the question is because so Rishi, you're an HR person, right? So this is sort of an HR question,
Hmm.
right? So you have employees being your the players who are there, right? So my question to you is when you are basically talent hunting, right, for these such players, are you looking for players who will be marketable, or are you looking for players who are having good performance? Because coming down to it, you're having people who are like what you
It's
said. Like Pogba, I'm not sure who the person, who Pogba, the person, how he is, but if Pogba has a new hairstyle, if he's marketable, you are able to get
hmm.
people to invest in your merchandise. So when you're talent hunting, if you're a talent scout, what do you look for? Do you look for a marketable person, or do you look for a person who is having good performance?
It depends on the team actually, because see, not every team is going to go for a marketable player. Some teams want to win. Some teams want to go for the marketable player. Now, Pogba, for example, is not just style. He has substance also, but I don't know what's going on in Manchester United. But he's not showing his substance. He's just showing style. So it's again now when I get to a headhunt, I usually get a list. Like we want a person who's this. There's a criteria. So I'm sure these scouts and these managers will be getting this criteria. Like this player should be able to give me like 5 goals or 10 goals in a season, and they'll be looking for that. If he's flashy, if he's marketable, okay, great. If it's an upcoming young player who is getting a fan following, who has the potential, but he's also marketable, they'll obviously go for that. But that player will be priced at a premium. You won't get a player for like 15 million if he
Mhm.
is going to be like marketable. He will be easily around 50 to 60 million,
Okay,
while a player who is a workhorse will be much cheaper.
because they bring in the performance anyways.
Yeah.
But that
Okay.
performance will be coming along is not guaranteed as well.
Yeah, there's no guarantee on anything. There are players, hundreds of players who come to a team and go. Like today, what if suppose Chelsea is having a match today? What players there in 3 years? Sorry, they won't have the same players. In fact, I just saw a stat recently that Chelsea's squad of today, the first 11, around seven of them weren't even playing for Chelsea 3 years back. They were in different clubs. So it's just changing players as per your marketable needs and also as per how your team performs.
Okay, so this is regarding football, right? So now, when you're talking about cricket, so IPL is one thing
Yeah.
which is like blowing all over the place right now. It was for a while back.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
so when you're talking about football, you're seeing people like you have people who you can bench, and if required, you can bring them onto the field if and when required. When it comes to cricket, you have a set
Yeah.
number. Okay, these people are going to be in the field, and you can't really substitute them unless it's a concussion kind of a situation. So when you're
Yeah.
picking the team who's going to be playing the starting 11, what do you call it? So is that again marketability or performance, or is it depending on the on
In
where they're
cricket,
at the team? Yeah, or is it depending on where they are on the table at that point in the league?
it's performance. In cricket, luckily, it has not gone the route of football yet. It is going there, but it's more on performance right now.
Like every team has a marquee
Meaning,
player, all those things are there, but it's not like
yeah,
there. But jerseys are
yeah. IPL especially, it's not jerseys they're wearing. They're wearing advertising
Yeah.
billboards. Every nook and corner of the shirt has
Yeah.
has a
Oh,
sponsor on it.
speaking of that, see the latest Indian team jersey. You cannot find that name India there in that.
Yeah, it's become, your shirt is a real estate plot over there. They'll just have ads over there. You just take an IPL shirt from here to here, full names. This brand, that brand, every brand in the world is there, and that's how it is in cricket right now. The most marketable player and is luckily one of the most best player. Like, he's one of the best players in the world. It's Virat Kohli right now. I think he's the richest cricketer also, if I'm not wrong. I might be wrong, but I think I'm
I
right
guess
about
he's in
this.
the top list.
But I
Yeah.
think he'll be easily in the
Yeah.
top 3 richest cricketers and most marketable players.
Okay, so when you're talking about market players, okay, so you touched upon the point of the sponsorship. So from any of the factors regarding monetization. So when Nitin, we started the podcast, we're talking about the fact that where does the money come from? So obviously you have the fans coming in, paying the tickets and everything, but you also have the lion's share of it coming from the sponsors as well. Right, and as you rightly said, that in a T-shirt of any of the teams, you have the entirety of the sponsors' logos like strapped all over the place. So, at what point does it become more of a marketing campaign than a game? Like, do you think the sponsors have a role to play in performance?
I think it's no. I think it's always a marketing campaign. If there's a 6 in the IPL, it's called what? Vivo Maximum now, or
I don't
what
know.
is it now?
It's called Maximum.
Something Maximum. It's, even a wicket is called something else. The
Some
strategic
company
timeout
name
is
and something.
Timeout.
strategic timeout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm? Yeah.
It's obviously
It's a
some
company
company.
name in this.
Yeah.
Like, I to be honest, I think 20 years down the line, it'll be, what do you say, Nike's Virat Kohli is batting and facing against Adidas's Mitchell Stark.
It can happen.
Sponsorships and teams, they go hand in hand. Payment from the sponsors as well as payment from the what do you call it, the fans in terms of the ticket fares and everything. It comes to the players in some way or the other, and plus the managers or the club owners themselves, they be paying the salary of. So all these things considered, like when you're saying that IPL still hasn't reached the level of what your football is right now. So whatever football clubs that you have, where they're focusing more on the marketing or this, sponsorship part of it. A fledgling, sort of fledgling like IPL or ISL, right? Do you think that this particular awareness that is there, let's say I will be getting paid anyways, it doesn't really matter how good I play, as long as I'm able to look good on camera and be stylish and be marketable. Do you think that will affect upcoming players?
No, it will. Meaning it. See, you're saying, if they look good, will they be a hit? No,
Basically, marketable.
because yeah, I mean, you in cricket especially, you can't be marketable if you're not performing. I mean, you can be the best looking player in the world, but if you're not consistently performing, you get forgotten. Like, I'm pretty sure, 2 years down the line, if you don't perform, you'll be kicked out of the IPL team, and you'll just be a has-been. And that's I think you could even say a beauty of the IPL, that only the performers survive. It, the performers automatically become the what do you say, the marketable players.
Okay, so in terms of employability, do you think sports right now is a good arena for people to get into in terms of earning?
Yeah. If see, I would say we are right now, like the three of us are in the generation where parents have started accepting kids to start playing into sports, and in fact, the generation after us, they have parents actually forcing them get into sports. You hear so many horror tales where kids are there who don't want to play, and they are being forced to go for coaching and just to get a future there, because
And exactly what's the main reason for this forcement?
money. It's always going to be money.
Yeah.
Yeah. there's a reason why our generation, the parents sent us to be engineers and doctors, because stable form of income. Why do you think in India there's so many engineers? Parents are like, go get money.
So, do you think that
That's
sports is the next Bollywood slash Hollywood in terms of the dream part of it?
Yes.
but there's one thing. There's one thing that separates sports from Bollywood or Hollywood. In Bollywood or Hollywood, without talent you can survive. But in sports, there's no guarantee on that. Meaning, there's like an X number of times where you can just survive by going 1 run or 2 runs in a match. Once if you don't perform, you're out. That's it.
There was a
Isn't it-
movie like a few years back. It was a Keralite movie about a cricketer. It was like kind of mimicking the Kerala fast bowler Srishant, and like the cricketer's mother is telling, like it's not necessary that he reached the Indian cricket, but even if he gets into the Ranji team, it's a big thing. His life is set.
To be honest, it is. I mean,
Yeah,
people are downplaying the Ranji team, but Ranji is a very good platform.
very good.
I mean, I agreed. If you go to the Indian team, you will get a lot more sponsorship and a lot more exposure. But for a purist, the Ranji is the epitome of Indian cricket. It's the topmost level of Indian cricket.
And another thing, like this league, the evolution of leagues, you can see now after the start of IPL, like there are other countries who have followed the system: Australia, England, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, there, and Bangladesh Premier League is there. So what has happened is now some countries, like the players have understood that it's time, like they can even hang up the international boots and they can come and just concentrate for the league.
Yeah.
So
West
this is
Indian
one.
players are especially doing this.
Yeah, one way I would say this has spoiled the spirit of the game, like these choices. Because like if you see that a few years back, people used to play for the jersey, the country, the passion was too high. But right now, it's all about like securing your future, making enough money to live comfortably. And I don't play for my country; it's not a problem. But I'm not going to miss the league. That's a mindset now, somewhat. If you see,
But you have to be realistic about this, and I'll have to jump back to football for this. But Oscar, a former Chelsea player, Oscar, he did the same thing at the age of 26. He had a chance to go to European clubs, but he jumped to a Chinese club, and he said, "The reason I'm going is obvious: money. With the money I'm earning here, I can support my family."
but one doubt I have, Rishi. But he was getting a really good wage at Chelsea, also, right?
Yeah, but you're getting 4 times the salary in China.
Yeah, but all I'm asking is,
Are you telling me if suppose tomorrow a company comes with you and tells you that I'll give you 5 times your salary for half the amount of work which you actually do, you wouldn't take it?
no, see, I'll take it. But all I'm asking is, Oscar was already getting a well-paid salary. If he's going to he had a good talent, also he was well performing in the league. Imagine if he had gone to a different European league, he had a better chance of winning Champions League, reaching the other stage of his potential.
He had a chance, yes, but he also
Yes.
has a chance of injuring his leg and ending his career over there. He also has a chance of failing miserably. Why go for something for a probable over there when for sure you're going to get 5 times the salary for half the work? Like, no man in his right mind would do that. Like, would say no to this opportunity.
No, I agree, but that fighting spirit is gone actually from the player, to be honest.
It's not fighting spirit, it's survival. It's again, he's paying for his family. See, we are only seeing Oscar the person, the player. You're not seeing Oscar the family man, Oscar the brother or the son. He's supporting his family. Yeah, he's using
See,
his money for himself.
I agree his decision, everything, but don't you think like I don't know how much he was being paid at Chelsea. If he was getting something around like 100K wages per week, don't you think that is not enough to support a family? Like I don't know what other conditions are there, but like just think from a normal point of view, the wage and
Yeah, but then again, when you
point,
have a
right?
chance to earn, forget it. When you
Yeah,
have
so
a chance to get money, you will go take it. No,
Exactly.
you will automatically upgrade your standard of living. And I
What
think,
Rishi
if I'm not
saying.
wrong, he used the money for improving the infrastructure in Brazil. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think he has done that also.
okay, then it's really good actually.
Yeah.
But listen, one thing is that what Rishi is saying, he has a point in that, right? So when if you're talking about a person leaving one particular league, and going to another league which is completely away from what the fans are expecting it. It's about what options are on the table, and it's not just about the how much money is earning at that point. It's more about or not the fighting spirit. It's like what Rishi is saying. The fighting spirit, what we are defining is in the term of okay, it is my club, it is my country. I want to play for that particular team. But the fighting spirit in this perspective is what Rishi is saying. I have a family. I have to earn for the family. I'll be playing max to max for maybe next 5 years. Post that, I need enough money in my pocket to make sure my this thing runs, my family runs. So I don't really, and if at all he gets injured, there's a possibility that he might not even have that future. So
Exactly.
that it depends on what's on the team. Okay, so we have been sticking to football, we're sticking to cricket a lot. So we also have
Hmm.
the kabaddi coming up, right? Kabaddi, badminton, table
Yeah.
tennis, not tennis. So we have these things also come. So okay, fine. So how would you do you think kabaddi at any point could reach the level where football is right now in terms of this in terms of the money part of it?
Money point of view, I
It
think
will take
it's
some.
highly
Yeah, I think.
unlikely.
Yeah,
It
it might take in next 5-10 years maybe with good marketing push and everything.
So
a good
okay,
marketing push, but to be honest, kabaddi has been played by mainly by Indians and Pakistanis. Meaning, the reach is not as wide as what football has.
True.
There's a lot of teams who play football. I mean, a lot of countries who play football, but countries that play cricket is pretty limited. I'm sorry, kabaddi is pretty limited. I guess it's around 10 countries, 10 to 12 countries.
very few countries are available.
Yeah.
So do you think that monetization also has a role to play in the um, how to put this across? Does it have a role to play in the popularity of a game, as in improving the popularity of a game?
Improving the popularity, yes,
Yes.
but I don't think it has like for example now, as I said before, NFL is the richest league in the world.
Hmm.
But none of us watch the NFL because it doesn't being Indians, it doesn't we just don't understand the concept of the game.
Right.
And same way for the Americans, cricket, they are like it's just a elaborate version of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's more of a cultural thing than money.
No, I mean in local sense. Like for example, now we have kabaddi. Kabaddi was like it's more into okay in my backyard I'm playing kabaddi or inter college stuff, into school stuff you're playing kabaddi. Not
Yeah.
to the level of like international level of it, right? But the thing is, you don't have that many players being pushed. Okay, go for kabaddi. Cricket is one option,
Yeah.
but don't go for it. Go for kabaddi. So, do you think that monetization of a game has a role to play in boosting the popularity of a game?
Mm, See, it's no one can force you to watch kabaddi. That's the thing. I mean,
Not for
you
watching,
can
for
yeah.
entering as a player.
Entering as a player, again, it's on your talent. If you're talented enough to play kabaddi, you will make your way to it, man. There's no one going to stop you. Meaning, other than parents who want you to go and do something else.
True. And even
But-
like you can see like players putting the extra effort to be noticed and come to the stage there.
Yeah.
So the reason why I asked this is because if I'm not sure as to if I'm getting the storyline correct, but in Shakti India you had the women's hockey thing, right? So
Yeah.
where the popularity of the Indian of the women's hockey is increasing, so people are trying to sponsor them. So the people are like, okay, so then this is gaining popularity. Let's push this thing forward. So do you think that that can actually be replicated in well what's happening now? Like for example, kabaddi you have badminton. Badminton is a game we are all focusing on right now because to be honest, Deepika Padukone gets into the Bollywood industry. We don't know who she is. We come to know, okay, she was a badminton player, and then so we know, okay, so then badminton is there. We play on a regular basis, fine. But you have few players, one or two players you know by name, okay, and now you have the badminton league that's happening. So, do you think that's why I asked you? Like, do you think monetization or has a role in monetization in terms of increasing the number of sponsors, marketing the particular game because of the sponsors? Do you think that has a role to play where parents, like how you said, parents who say today go for engineering, go for doctor, become a doctor, become a whatever. So to push them into going, okay, forget cricket, don't go into cricket today, go for train yourself in badminton, train yourself in athletics, that kind of manner.
See, regarding now the badminton, the reason why there was a badminton league is because India is consistently winning gold and silver medal in all these competitions. I think in Olympics also and in the Asian Games, India is
Even
winning.
PV Sindhu is doing really well. So
Yeah,
and
PV Sindhu and Saina Nehwal, she's also doing very
yeah,
well. And same way, even cricket, India started performing well. Why? I mean, India was playing well. Why? Because of I'm sorry, not India. I mean IPL. IPL started because of India winning the 2007 World Cup.
World Cup.
If India had not won the 2007 World Cup, there would have not been an IPL. The team that was sent for the 2007 World Cup was like, it was just like a random team.
It was like
senior
a
players.
it was like an alpha beta testing squad actually.
Yeah,
You
they
click,
were
you
just
click.
like,
That's it. Yeah.
yeah, they were just like, seniors were like Tendulkar, Dravid, Ganguly were like, we don't want to play. So Indian board was like, okay, take some youngsters. Dhoni, you be captain, go. And that experiment worked. That's
So
how
that's
the
what.
whole.
So it is like a country which has sent experimental players really brought a revolution in the world of cricket actually.
Yeah. I mean, if India had not won that World Cup, right now we wouldn't be discussing about IPL or BBL.
Yeah.
They would have T20 would have just been considered a fad and it would have gone.
Okay. Uh, so we have spoken about quite a few things about how monetization has a role to play in terms of the development of the game, payment of the game, how players decide whether they should move or not. That also has a role to play in it. So my question to both of you, since both of you are more into the whole sports arena of it, in terms of watching it and following it. Uh, do you think, okay, first off, how different is sports today because of the monetization as opposed to before? Like, what is the major change that you see apart from the whole internet and social media thing?
I mean, sports especially has changed a lot. I mean, it's obvious on TV because when you see TV, there is like 60% advertisements and 40% of what the match is. There's literally advertisements everywhere, and I mean, there are ads which actually look like matches themselves, and you're like confused. And
Actually, another thing what I felt is like players became more fitness aware. They're working well on their fitness to be in the shape
yeah,
to see out the full tournament, to be fit and to see out the full match actually. So that fitness level has like really raised to the next stage right now. So that has helped like a lot of players actually.
I mean,
Okay.
fitness, yes, and also again, we are using a lot of video referees. Like tennis has their ball tracking for if the ball has gone out or not. Cricket has their ball tracking for LBWs. Football has for the goal line technology. Uh, and very surprisingly, football is the one which is really ruining their technology. I mean,
Yes.
the game has just been spoiled. But I mean, technology has its good and bad, and that is all thanks to money. Mm, Because of constant investment on these sports, we're getting improvements also, getting changes.
And another thing is like whichever young player who's being paid high should have a real good mental health out there to survive out there. Because
Yes.
one or two wrong bad moves, they're going to be like witch hunted very badly in the media, trolls, memes, everything. So if you're
So,
really like not ready up for the challenge, you'll just fade away from there. Like there are
I
a lot of
mean,
good youngsters who came in from the like there are a few youngsters who have been brought from different team who came from the academy. So I can say like few youngsters from the academy has really made a good place in the first team, but few who have transferred him is nowhere in the team right now because they couldn't perform very highly. So the pressure was on; they had to be sold.
that's again on the you could say how the player, I mean, the person,
Yeah,
player is as a person and on his upbringing also. If a person has a good support system around him, he can easily improve. I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo, for example, he got a very good contract. He himself said that there was a player called Fabio Pine, who he said was better than him, and who was I think a couple of years younger than him. But now, if you ask any random person, they'll know who Cristiano Ronaldo is, but they'll never know who is Fabio Pine,
yeah.
who just wasted his career. He just went into gambling, drugs, alcohol, and just ruined his career.
So since you brought the point of gambling into the mixture, into the mix, we cannot talk about sports and not talk about sports bets. So
Yeah.
you have your in IPL also right now. So they have your winning
No,
eleven.
no,
Was it
IPL is not fixed.
11?
You don't have to worry. IPL is not fixed. Uh,
No, I'm not talking about the fixed. I mean, you never know, but not the fixed part of it. The which is that app that is there, the 11 one, uh,
My circle.
Dream 11.
fantasy
No.
Dream
Uh,
11. So it's not betting;
Dream
it's more
11.
like fantasy league. Yeah, Dream
Yeah.
11. So some of my friends are there who have invested money in it, and they're like, okay, dude, I put 35 rupees or 350 rupees, whatever it is, and I got a certain amount back or whatever it may be. So
Hmm.
that do you think that adds pressure to players?
No, I don't think
No,
so.
no,
I mean,
no.
no,
Because
that's different.
players don't even know who's going to bet on them, and they don't need to care about that. They will just go out and then perform how the situation is. That's it.
Yeah, in fact, I remember
Unless the player bets himself in.
I mean, that's what I was getting to. In fact, I remember in a post-match interview recently, I don't know which sport it was, whether it was in the Premier League or the IPL, where they asked the player, like, you performed so well, and he's like, yeah, I had myself in the fantasy league, so I had to get points. I think it was the Premier
So
League,
that,
I'm not sure. But that happened, so, I mean, they are aware they are playing it, but it's not betting to be per se, it's just, no,
it's not.
it's just a fun competition.
Yeah, but then do you so, when such things exist in the market, like where you have your winning 11, you have other fantasy leagues that are there. Where obviously now, so when you see fantasy, so I didn't know what fantasy leagues up until I've watched which was that game, a movie. I think it was in How I Met Your Mother. You have fantasy leagues coming up a lot, especially
I think
basketball.
so, yes.
So you have so you have college basketballs and you have high school basketball. Those they have their own separate leagues to be playing in, and based on that, they're observing one particular player and how he or she is evolving till they reach the mainstream leagues, right? So okay, so from that perspective, if you're going to have that fantasy leagues where a person is following one player till the end till he reaches the particular league, do you think that fad should start here in India? You have your under 16s and under 19s and everything, but
I mean,
following such
eh, eh, yeah, but in India right now, fantasy league is just gone to another level. The current president of the BCCI, Saurav Ganguly, is having his own fantasy league and he's promoting it. Blatantly on TV, he's like my Dream 11 or something. He calls it, and he's like
Yeah.
promoting it. And I mean, fantasy league has just caught up now. It's not these levels of what it is in the US and Canada, but I think pretty soon it will, and it'll just overtake it.
I guess this Dream 11 or one of the app is actually banned in one of the state as well in India.
Maybe it must be, but
Yeah, because one of my friends was telling me in his state the app is banned because they're totally against gambling.
you can't call fantasy league gambling. I mean,
no, in
It's
I
fact,
mean,
just
as
they
far as
did
like,
ban cricket as well.
wait one
They
minute, let me
banned
just
cricket
like bring that.
because see, for them, according to them, anything you're putting money into, and like if you're putting a small amount of money in, and you're expecting a larger this thing out of it, especially on sports stuff, so they'll be counting that as gambling, as long as you're getting a return from that.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
it is like the state of Telangana, Assam, and Orissa. They do not keep Dream 11 or any fantasy sports into the category of game of skill.
But again,
Okay,
most of
games.
some of these fantasy league sites are free. Meaning it's an optional thing whether you want to pay or not. You can play for free with your friends, or you can pay and play.
But apparently, the government has decided to pull it off in their particular states. It is still, it is still a long time. I would say, like where India will have like the proper full-fledged fantasy system. Actually,
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm bringing back the point again. Like America or like in Canada, where they follow the NHL or if they follow the hockey players from high school to college
Yeah.
to the leagues, they recognize a particular player there and then they invest their time or the marketing capability on that one particular person. So you have the scholarships and everything coming up for that particular this thing. So in India, do you think that's possible?
No, because India has a big pool. It has a very big pool of players. I mean, cricketers just They just come out by the dozens, and you can't really be invested in one player unless and until he turns out to be like a generational talent. And
Okay.
again, and other sports especially, it's just too less. There's not much exposure for them. In okay, in US and Canada, I mean, they follow them from the college, and then they go to the NHL or
Yeah.
NFL, and that's a different thing. We don't have a college system over here where people sit and watch the college games. You don't see anyone going for a St. Xavier's cricket match or something. No one is interested in all that. Worst case
Mhm.
scenario, a person will go and watch a Syed Mushtaq Ali T20 Cup, but that is also just to see who is the next IPL star. Nothing else.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So I
So,
think the
Nitin, you
India's
said.
limited overs and T20 games, the
Hmm.
teams are mainly selected from the IPL actually, even for the ODI, I
Yeah,
would say.
yeah. Even ODI,
Yeah.
it's all IPL.
Okay. So, Nitin, you said something about no skill game. Although this is no, I won't consider this as a no skill game. You have leagues now of online gaming. So you have even Tekken is there. So we all play Tekken as kids. I mean, I still play. So Tekken, Counter Strike, Call of Duty, Destiny. All you have a lot of these online games. Um, they are also monetized. What do you think about that?
I mean,
That,
EA is evil. I'm not going to lie. EA is evil. They have ruined FIFA.
like I wouldn't say like you should like give a disadvantage for like any user like to pay and get the stuff. Like let them work for it actually. That really brings the skill in them. Let them work for it. It's simple.
No, there are professional players, professional teams who go online. They have international. So you have this whole the gamers,
Hmm.
the gamer
Got it.
league they have where you have. So for example, if you're playing Call of Duty on the phone on mobile, they have the live streaming happening once a month or something like where people can watch these pro gamers play, right? They are sponsored, so you have Red Bull sponsoring some of these players. You have Razer X sponsoring some of these gamers. What do you think about that part of it? About online gaming,
Okay.
about these kind of PPS kind of games? So they basically digital games as opposed to the real like actual on-field games. How do you feel
Yeah,
about
right
people
now,
monetizing such games?
esports is the next thing, next big thing. I mean, thanks to the pandemic, esports has even grown bigger. Like, people are
Mhm.
just playing, can just play at the comfort of their homes, and they're having a good time. You can And I think esports also is having a good fan following in the Southeast Asia, because the South
Yeah.
Korea and Japan are just having insanely talented players. So that is why you don't
Yeah.
see a South Korean or a Japanese cricket team, or I mean, baseball. I think Japan is good in it, so I think they are good for that. But more than football or cricket, you'll see them more focusing on the video game side, and
So do
that.
you think? I'm
Sorry.
sorry.
No, you can continue.
Hmm. So do you think that has a chance of bleeding into India?
It did actually. I remember reading a couple of years back that India finally sent their esports team, and then
Mhm.
one of the players, like an idiot, decided to hack, cheat during the tournament and got caught. I mean, we are trying. We Indian gamers are trying our best to show to our parents that gaming is also a good option, a good financial option. And then this idiot comes and cheats and gets caught.
But puts a full country's image like drowning there.
I mean, I don't know what to say, man.
No, like for
He's
that, I could
but
say like you can go to YouTube and you can see the number of streamers. Like they do, the main thing they do is they do it in the local language actually.
yeah, they
Which
do that.
streamers?
Mhm.
Yeah, you can see like in Hindi, Malayalam, Telugu. Like you can see the titles of they write like this and this audio. So they have their friends. They make a
Mhm.
team every like I would say like every week they post videos like of the gameplay, everything like the full tactical system, everything. So one way it is growing in India, and people have found a way to monetize it. Like they use a digital platforms to upload the content, get money from
Mhm.
that. So they're making use of it.
But for digital, I mean, for online gaming right now in India, the big thing was PUBG. I think it's banned right now. I think it's still banned in India.
It is
It's
still no.
banned.
You can play the PC and console version actually.
Okay, but
Well,
again,
so that
but in India, how many people have a good enough PC with great enough internet to play PUBG?
True.
You know, playing PUBG on the phone was easy for almost everyone. Anyone can just download it and play it thanks to Geo Internet. And right now there is no. I mean, there's no consoles also in India. I mean, is the PS5 released yet? Has the PS5 been
no,
released?
not yet.
No, not
Not
yet.
yet. Not yet.
Okay,
Yes,
even
really
if
good.
it is released, who's gonna buy it? It's too expensive.
Because
It's
last I
too
read
expensive.
someone took the naming trademarks
Yeah,
there
they
and
took the
made the
copy.
legal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why over here is PlayStation 5, not PS5. Right. Okay. So one point that we've touched upon on a regular basis over here was that how monetization has helped sports become a career path for most of the people who are there.
Yeah.
People getting into sports. So going down, do you think that it would cheapen the sport? That okay, the guys are just going. See, talent, yes, is one thing. Okay, like for example, now you have anybody going into the movies, but you have people like Irfan Khan and Nawazuddin Siddiqui and your Ayushmann Khurrana in the field who are like not that well known initially, but then once they perform, they get marketable and later on they go down. But you have Varun Dhawan also, so when you are saying that Bollywood versus sports or Bollywood versus sports, you have a situation where talent is more important than the sports part of it. But the same thing rings true even in the movie industry as well, because once you have a couple of losses, if you are not related to a big person, nepotism, you are out. You are toxic to producers. You won't be touched at all. The same thing goes in for sports as well. So this my question to you is: once monetization becomes sort of mainstream in every sport, do you think that sport itself will become cheap? Where people are like, "Hani, usko paisa, he wants money, that's why he's going into the games."
See, the thing is, you can't say nepotism in sports. Meaning, it's not as prevalent as it's there in Bollywood because you might get your leg up into cricket or football, but
Hmm.
you still need to have talent to stay there. Still need to have talent to stick. I mean, you asking about marketable cricketers. From Would you call if you see a player like Yuzvendra Chahal or a Bumrah, they are talented and amazing players, but they are not marketable. Meaning they don't have you if you see them in ads and they're just standing awkwardly, they can't do ads, but they're still in the team.
Yeah.
It's talent. Like in sports, especially without talent, you can't stick in the game. You can't be relevant. That's what's important. And I think that is going to hold true even 20 years down the line. No matter how much money is there, without talent you can't stick in cricket or football or hockey or any other sport.
Okay, so that's an interesting question. So now to both of you, do you think 20 years down the line, the cash inflow into sports will increase or remain the same
Increase.
or decrease?
Increase.
It's obviously going to increase. There's
Yeah.
no way it's going to reduce.
I would see like more
Okay,
brands
maybe-
coming in now.
Yeah.
Okay, let me make this a little bit more masala stuff. E-games versus actual games, which do you think will get a more monetization? 20
See,
years down the line.
I would say the actual games will get more money because e-games is just portrayed as geeks and nerds who just sit and just press some buttons like keys and they just play. But actual sports is considered an exercise, so more parents want that to happen regardless of what nationality, or you just want your kid to be fit and playing and becoming famous.
And there's more monetization, like more on demand, like there are more people watching it. E-games is
But-
like only like particular
But
one
are you-
community is watching. Like for example, Shana, will your dad and mom watch an e-game stream?
They don't watch cricket.
They don't care about sports.
To be honest,
I mean, yeah.
As long as if it's a team they know they're watching it, then fine. Like I myself, I'll watch any match, any football match. I only watch the second half, not the first half, because second half you know things are going to go down. No, so when you're see 20 years down the line, it's not my parents or your parents who are going to watch things online. It is us watching online. So we be watching Twitch, we be watching YouTube, we be watching live stream of games. Okay, now post the pandemic situation where what I was checking out right now is majority of the shares or the inflow of cash has dropped because people are not streaming in are not watching live games anymore, or has reduced watching live games. You going there and sitting and watching these things. So people who are just like what is a purist, people who go there and watch these things in the stadiums and live versus people watching in a pub are two different things. So people who don't like the fact that I don't get to hear the noise of the people, I don't want to go to watch it. I check out the game tomorrow and when it comes to the paper. That versus sitting in the comfort of your home and watching things online. So that will become a fad going down because now people are aware of the fact that you can sit, relax in the house, and then watch. Because Nitin, when you're talking about the OTT podcast,
Yeah,
in
true.
that you were saying that you would rather sit at home and watch a movie as opposed to going to the theater and then sitting in a bunch of crowd and watching the movie.
I actually
So
am with Uni in
that
this.
to me
I,
is
I,
still
I
translate.
also I also prefer sitting at home and watching rather
Yeah.
than going to the stadium. I mean, where else can you see the highlights and where else can you enjoy a CA strategic timeout?
like uh like big example is this, we have been like in the pandemic time, there was no sports for few months.
Hmm,
So that time, me and
yeah.
like Rishi and few other friends, we started doing this FIFA thing called Pro Clubs,
Hmm,
and we did really well for like around 3-4 months continuous. Like every day we used to make time play. And what happened is once the
hmm.
IPL started, everything started. This thing just went off like that.
Yeah, I mean, IPL is IPL, man. It's
Yeah, see,
entertainment.
that's the thing. So when the real sports became, this thing just like went off the board. Now we got like weekly football. Like before it was like go out, watch together. But right now, what we are sitting in the home watching it, like you said, and then commenting through the groups and everything like that. So we know even if there's no pubs or something,
Okay.
like we can still enjoy the game from our home.
But I would also like to say one thing. There is a reason why maybe Nathan and I prefer to watch at home is because we know we can't watch the match in the stadium. I mean, if there was an option of watching the cricket game or football game in the stadium, we would go. I myself,
Yeah.
when a couple of years back the Asia Cup happened in UAE, I went for a couple of matches. I went for
Mhm.
the finals of the India Bangladesh game. So if you get an opportunity, yes, you will go.
See, Sean, for that, I'll tell you, see, movie is something like where you need to like understand that, right? So I don't like going with like a
Mhm.
huge crowd and they see someone coming in, they just start whistling, clapping, this thing is gone from there.
Yeah.
Like sports is something where you need to like experience it like lively. It's a live moment out there. You need to enjoy that actually.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. The adrenaline of it. Okay. So, Nitin, you brought up EA Pro Clubs, right? So, I'm assuming in that you are managers in that,
No,
or
we
how
are
is it?
players actually.
Okay, but I believe both of you have played something which is related to you being managers of a club.
No,
No.
basically in pro clubs it is like you.
Not pro club, not pro
Sorry.
club, not pro club. I'm saying, have you played a game where you are
Yes,
managers
yes,
of a
we have
club
played
Yeah,
football.
yeah.
where you have to
Football
kind
Yeah,
of.
that's
manager.
regular football game. Yeah, that's
So when I was asking about the if you've played as managers in a club was because uh, so assuming the fact that we are talking about monetization of sports. So you're talking about investing money in a sport so that it becomes a lucrative business in itself, right? You as managers, what would you look into when you have to invest in a particular company, in a particular club or a sport? See, you guys are talking a lot about football, so let's take football for example. So, what would make you invest in a particular sport, or what would make you get more money from the particular sport?
okay. For me, for example, it's for me it's passion. If your team is passionate about something, they will find a way to galvanize a whole supporters. A community. They'll get their fans. When you get fans,
Mhm.
automatically investors will be interested. Other investors and advertisers will be invested. then automatically you get your money. I mean, for me, that's how you get it. There's no use of spending a lot of money and just failing.
Hmm.
In fact, in F1, if you the Vijay Malia and the Sahara, I think Subrata Roy, they
Hmm.
made a team, uh, Force One India, if I'm not wrong. That was the name, right?
Yeah.
Force One India.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. He invested a lot of money in that team, but they haven't ever won a podium, I guess, in the F1 history, and they don't have any racer who has won the title. So it's not money; it's passion. It's just passion and talent.
Okay. So Nitin, what about
For
you?
me, like for example, if it's a football club, I will invest in money for the
Hmm.
players actually, because I'm not going to overpay for the wages. We'll have the scouting system set up. I'll invest more in the coaching and the scouting system where the players can be supported. So get in like good like
Okay.
players who fits to the system actually. I'm not going to overspend for players jersey sales or marketing purpose, because down the year, like Rishi said, you keep winning. The winning takes time. It's not something like it's going to happen like in a magical flip of the fingers or something like that. You need to support the system, give
Hmm.
it 3-4 seasons time, invest in slowly, get the good players in. When you start winning, fans will be there along your side. You get whoever player you want the jerseys will be keep selling on. You don't need to like fancy buying an 100 million or 200 million players there. So I will technically invest in for a player who fits the team, who fits the system actually, more than the marketing purpose. It's all about like winning with the team. It should be like a team game more than individual for me.
Do you think as an investor you think that way though? Because I mean, why, the reason I'm asking because like when you see auctions right now, people immediately they shell out a huge amount of money for top performers and all that, and that's like a huge amount of money going for buying that particular person. So do you think at that point of time that I mean, don't you think that like, people will want the investors will want to get that amount they've spent back through merchandise sales,
No,
through
see,
ticket
that is
sales
what
and
say. I'm
stuff
not going
like
to
that?
spend big. I'm going to spend a little, little. Like I might sign youngsters and groom them up over the years. Make a winning team, actually.
Rishi, what's your take?
Hmm?
Because I think from what Rishi, what's your take? Because from what you said, your point is actually in contradiction to what Nitin is saying. So, like, do you have any counter for that?
See, no, I think Nitin and I basically haven't said different points. There's slight differences, but basically our intent is the same. You prove your worth. Automatically, results will come. It's like what every parent says. You give your hardest, you try
Yeah.
your hardest in your board exams, and you will end up with your
Hmm.
marks. You will end up with good marks. You don't study, you don't do well.
So, like what I said is like you have a 27-year-old player who is already accomplished out there, and he's
Hmm.
costing 100 million, and you have a 20-year-old player whose cost is around like 10 million, and he's going to give you like more time than the 27-year-old player, and he's going to win you more trophies later in
Hmm.
his career.
But
Depending on the
but
player.
Nitin, there's no guarantee on that he'll win you a title. There's no guarantee he's going to do
No, that's why
well.
I said everything.
No
Everything
matter.
requires a time,
Yeah,
because you can see the success of Liverpool now, like how they gave the manager time, the system they build around him, the players they
yeah.
signed. So it's all about like patience, the input, the determination the players shows out there. You don't need to like technically they show that they don't need like big names out there. They made a team actually.
Yeah. See, in sports especially, I think making a team takes a lot of hard work. We can sit and just say, sign this player, sign that player. It's it's just too difficult. You
Hmm.
have a lot of money involved in this. We have become so desensitized with the transfer fees. You sit and see, this player has been bought for 40 million. You're like,
Yeah,
40 million?
that's true.
We should have got 60 million for it. Yeah, I mean, we are saying 40 million, 50 million as if it's like peas in the house, tomatoes in the house. It's that bad right now. And I just feel that there should be some sanity brought back into the world of football, world of cricket, actually, just sports in general. We need to find some way to just, tone it down a bit.
So, what
And,
do you
it,
suggest?
I mean, Nitin made a good point in the start, saying about salary caps, which it makes sense. There should be, but The problem is there is a lot of ways to just circumvent it and get make the person earn more. The rich will always get richer, and they'll find a way to make sure it happens. Can't stop that.
Yeah.
Okay, so in this podcast we have two HR people. One is Rishi, one is myself. Rishi, what's your so when you're talking about salary cap, right? So Nitin, you know this thing. So when you're talking about salary, you're talking about on the basis of performance. You pay a person on the basis of certain criteria. You pass this criteria, you get the salary. If you are performing better, you get increments or sorry, incentives. And first, like after a number of years, you get automatically increments. You get if you're talking about salary caps for a player whose entire career is based only on performance, and in terms of strategy as well, strategy of the manager or the coach or whatever it may be, how do you cap a salary for a player?
I think, meaning, see, in Indian cricket, for example, they have put grade systems. They have put, a C, B, and a A. I think there's one more. I think they might have put a A plus. I'm not sure about that. But so if your player has played, suppose, he's performing well, he gets automatically into the A grade. If he's like an average player, he gets to the B grade. And if it's a young player or a new player to the team, he gets a C grade. I think, you should just make it like that. Like there are always, you see in football especially, there are players who just grumble and complain about salary. They're like, I'm performing so well for the team, I'm not getting what I feel I'm worth. But if there's a salary cap there, the team can say, like, this is the max we can go, this is the max in the league, no team can give you more than this. So then the player will keep his mouth shut and perform.
Okay, that makes sense actually. That is a very wise thing to do. But okay, so I'm not sure as to how logical this may seem. So my doubt is this. So when you're talking about cricket, right? So you have a wicketkeeper, you have a batsman, you have a bowler, and in certain cases you have the majority of the fielders who are there. But when you're talking about football or hockey, you have different levels of players there and there itself on the field. You have your central defense, you have your defense goalkeepers, and your front line, whoever is there. So do you think that experience at that point, or your like grade A, grade B, grade C, would play into a salary cap for football players?
Yeah, it can. See, you said
Your
now.
functions are
Okay, you
different.
said. See, you give me 4 categories in cricket: batsman, bowler, wicketkeeper, and fielder, for example. Okay.
Yeah.
In football, also you can put it as goalkeeper, defender, midfielder, and forwards.
Or
So would you be paying
you can
them
again
each
you can again
separate
subcategorize keeper, full back, centre backs,
Yeah.
mid, defensive mid, centre
Yeah,
mid,
you
attacking
can.
mids. You can categorize it more.
You can easily
Okay, so
categorize
on
it,
for
and you easily know who is your first choice centre back. You know who is your second choice centre back. So you know that this guy is your
now,
top priority. He's your captain, or he's your top centre back. He's guaranteed going to get the highest. Second guy also, second choice also could be like as good, like 2 centre backs. So the second centre back also could be good enough to get the highest grade.
So
so I'm going to
yeah, so
circle this
one
point
minute.
back to
So
what Nitin has said
yeah,
in the
what
starting,
Rishi
where
said, right, about the grade system. So when a player is going out a new club, the new club can decide based on his current grade system what they need to pay him actually.
Yeah.
so like how you're having this. So what is your last earned salary on the basis that you're going to decide whether the person gets a bump in
Yeah.
salary or not? That's how companies work anyway. So, but I'm going to circle this to the question as to what Nitin had put forward a good point in the starting, saying that it'll affect the mentality, the mental of the mentality of a player if he's brought in with high amount of money, or if he's even brought into the club because of the performance, but he's benched.
Hmm.
Okay, if he's benched, he's not playing. If he's not playing, he's not getting paid,
No,
He
he
still
still
gets
gets
paid.
paid.
or he get paid the lesser amount. No, I'm saying if you're capping the salary, if you're capping the salary on the basis of performance, what are you paying him for sitting on the bench?
No, in football, basically there are 2 kinds of contract. One is the regular contract, and the other one is usually when the player is usually injured a lot. They get a contract called as a pay as you play. So for each appearance they do, they get a salary. So
Okay.
if we go with a pay as you play mode type of contract, then Nitin's suggestion would be will be met with a lot of hate, because obviously you can only play maximum of 14 players in a match for a team. Well, if it's a regular salary, there are people who are happy just to sit and watch their team just perform. You get paid for doing nothing.
Okay. Do you think you have something to add to that? Nitin, you put your hand up. I don't know if you want to say something.
No, he's just modeling.
No, I'm just sitting like that. I'm just listening to your conversation.
He's like
Oh, I think
Rishi and
he's
Sean are so handsome.
Okay. Okay. So I think I just have one last question for both of you. Is see, I'm not a person who watches this, so that's why I'm asking so many questions. So now,
Yeah, no,
from a perspective of people who are not watching sports on a regular basis, if we've just spoken about monetization in terms of how it may affect the mental state of a person if they are bought in and they're not and they're benched and they're not performing, and so their talent as such is not being portrayed on the field. Um, so you have several things as that, but our major thing is that about capping the wages, about ensuring the fact that it's not about the money, but it's more about the game, about the spirit of the game. So assuming the fact that, like how you said, 20 years down the lane, money getting into the games are going to increase exponentially, and you're saying that at some point we have to say enough is enough and just draw the line somewhere. At what point do you think we will be able to successfully or even try to evolve or other shift into the capped salary payment for players as opposed to auction basis or performance based pay? Like as of now we are on performance based, so how do we transition into that
we should
if
have
it's even possible?
transitioned like 10 years back. It's a bit too late.
Yeah,
But do you think it's possible though?
No,
the owners won't agree to that now.
no owner will agree, and there'll just be a lot of
Yeah, they'll
problems.
they'll they create the tantrums like we'll boycott the league, and then the league administration will be in a big problem because if they leave, then the broadcasting money will be reduced. So it will be like whole total financial breakdown will be.
But is it only the managers will have an issue? Do you think the players will have an issue with it?
Yeah, obviously they'll also stand up
See,
for it.
in the end of the day, everybody wants money. I mean, everybody wants money, and everybody wants more money. No one is going to be happy with earning, 100 dirhams, $100 a week or something. They'll be happy with more and more money. So if you put a cap, it is just going to, there's going to be some players whose salary was around 500,000 per week. Based on cap, it could come down to 200,000 per week. They wouldn't be happy. So the
And
cap,
those who are 100 they come up to.
if they perform well, they would go up. But again, the number of players who will go up, it wouldn't be as much as the players who would come down, because there are really just crazy high amount salaries paid in football right now. Especially the players who went to China, they have earned crazy amount, and they are happy. They have earned enough for their grandchildren to live like millionaires.
Okay. So you guys have any other points to add?
It's
from your
not
perspective?
only the players, but if you see like nowadays, even the managers are getting good paid, and now they're also under big pressures. Like you don't perform, like they don't even like the team owners don't even wait till the end of the season. Sometimes the manager is sacked even after straight 5 or 6 games direct. They are sacked out. So it's not only the players, even the managers have come under big scrutiny now because of this payment, the manager's salary, team performance, because of the money they've invested into the club. So it has become like this pressure point now. It's like it's just waiting to blast after a few bad results.
I would like to bring one point up though regarding the monetization, is that because of monetization, there's also been one negative where outside influences are influencing the game. Like for example, now in Arsenal, Mesut Ozil, he was outspoken about something which has happened to. It's a political cause, and I don't want to go into it too much because I don't want to take any chances. But he was very vocal about it, and because of that, he's been frozen out of his team. He's the highest earning player. He's earning 350,000 per week in Arsenal, and because of these political issues, he's not even allowed in the team. He's just sitting in the bench and watching the matches.
So he gets paid to watch the match.
So yeah, he just gets paid to watch the match, and there are people who are insulting him, but he opened his mouth. He voiced his frustrations, and he's suffering because of that. I mean, I don't know if he's suffering. I mean, I would be very happy if I'm just sitting in my house and watching a match for
Yeah,
350,000. But yeah,
you don't even need to review also.
Basically, the highest paid view.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So fair enough. So my 2 cents from what I've understood from you guys is that monetization has its pros and its cons. From my perspective, what I can see is that the pros, as of now, outweigh the cons. Where itself, you can, to some extent, boost the popularity of a game. Where if more people are putting more money to a particular game, and you're marketing it better, so people will want to watch it, especially having marketable players in it, so to speak. If you're having an alternative career path right now, so if people are more into sports, so earlier when we had days where just if you're going to play football, you're not going to have a career. So now that career path is open for many students right now, where if they have a scholarship in football or scholarship in sports, they can enter into such avenues. So you have a much more better avenue coming up because of monetization, where you're getting money to just to sit, like what you mentioned in some cases. So yes, monetization has a lot of things, but you can also have exposure to TV in a lot of sense. Like I think there was one particular there was this very dumb Hindi movie. I forgot the name of Giant Dushman, where you had one cricketer, I think, in that particular movie. So I think it was Jadeja. I
No,
think.
no, that was not
No,
Johnny
Johnny
Dushman.
Dushman was like an horror flick, right?
No,
But
that
there
was
was
not Johnny
one.
Dushman. Jadeja was in Khel,
Ha.
but yeah, that was also like a thriller kind of a movie.
Yeah, so you, because of the fact that they are marketable in ads, they are somehow they can be dragged into movies as well, just for the sake of the fact that okay, this so-called person has a star quality in him. In the cricket, they may be able to bring those people for the movie as well. So you monetization for these sports are actually opening avenues for players, potential players, existing players, and even retired players also. So I mean, you have people getting into ads in many cases. So I feel it's a good thing as negatives, but I think at this point the pros outweigh the cons. Rishi, what's your take?
You see, regarding cricketers who have become actors, uh, first of all, Ajay Jadeja became a actor because he was caught match fixing. So he didn't have any other alternative. He could have just been a commentator or something, and he just tried his luck with acting. Same thing went with Srishant, who
Mm-hmm.
was caught again match fixing. But since he is immensely popular in Kerala and he's known for his dancing, he tried his hand in acting. I think he also failed very badly. I think Vinod Kambli also acted. Uh,
Yeah,
he
he
didn't do
did.
he didn't do match fixing though, but he cried a lot, and he just did a lot of nonsense, and he missed out. There was one more cricketer. I forgot what was his name. Uh, he played for India for like 2 games. He decided he
Mm.
was not good enough for cricket, but he knew he was good looking, so he tried to be an actor. He failed in
Mm.
acting also, and now he's just irrelevant. That's why I don't know his name. But I mean, there are
Sidhu was there.
see, huh? Sidhu didn't act. No,
Sidhu
I don't
was
think Sidhu acted.
he's there in he's a judge for those comedy shows.
Yeah, but then before comedy, he tried to do real comedy when he went to politics. So I mean, you go with Sidhu. There is a different. You can do two podcast episodes in that. So leave Sidhu out of this. I mean, see, in the end, it's like if you're good at something, you just get into it and you'll do well in it. Nothing else. And money is just like it's just a product of your hard work and your talent. One thing I do feel a little bit sad about is that the older players, the really good players from the yesteryears, they don't have the money or the exposure what the current players have. You can see players right now
Mm.
who were like you could say 60% talented, who people know, but there are so many players who in the yesteryears who were just really talented, who not much people know about. They came, they played the events.
Yeah.
That's it. So I'm just glad that there is an exposure for everyone, but I still feel that it really needs to be toned down a bit. Because I'm telling you, I
Okay.
am really fearing the fact that in 20 years, Adidas's Lionel Messi is going to score a goal against a Puma's Peter Cech or something. It's just going to be that bad.
Okay. Nitin, what's your finding thoughts?
See, it is good. Pumping money into the sports is good, but it should be in a controlled way where it is not going to be, the game has to be like suffered later. It should not come to that stage. Like how Rishi said, like it should not all be about like the full takeover of sponsorship into sports. So a lot of players are getting exposure. They are performing to their like talent level. They're getting well paid. I agree into that. And some sort of wage structure also should be in cap for some newcomers when they play for first time, so that they can play without that pressure. Everything they can find their. I feel like they can have their place in the team actually. Like they can just go out and express themselves without any pressure and without any media hunt out there. Eventually, they can, based on their performance, the wage can be increased or can be done anything later. And another thing is like
Right.
this thing. There are a lot of like technological advancement with the amount of money being pumped. Like we got DRS system, ball trackings, VAR is in football. Then the tennis has really done well with the line checking everything. So there are pros, but cons are like thing I said, the pressure, the owners worrying about the investment. Like if the team is performing like poorly, we can see a lot of players career getting like breaked out because of those. Because there are a lot of players like who just came in with some good performance, but they never were able to capitalize it. They were said like, oh, this guy is going to be really good, but eventually that year it was really bad for them. Next year their name is not even there anyway, but you don't see them anymore. Like people nowadays, people are like in a hurry to like bring some player's name up. They just drop it at the same time as well. So like what I suggest is like just to avoid the pressure. That's it for the players. If a player is like really talented, he has done really
Okay.
well, then fine. So guys,
Kill. Okay. Serious.
okay, so guys, we have heard our suggestions on the monetization, the sponsorship deals, branding, and everything in the sports. What is your take? Like, have you seen the comments? What do you think about this? Is this going to do good in long term, or will we see only money out there more than the spirit of the game? Have you said that in the comments? How do you think this can be controlled for betterment? Like, the game should be improved as well as the spirit should be improved. Like right now, if I see like before, like I'm just adding this, you see a lot of rivalry between the players. They don't talk to each other between the rival teams. Right now, all I see is like they're playing the leagues and they're acting like friends out there, hugging, laughing out there. Come on, guys, you're putting out your national team out there. Fight against each other. Where's the banter? Where's the sledging? I don't see that these days. It's like two.
But that is because in cricket now, there's, you could really see there's like 200 players in cricket, and all these 200 players are playing for 10 different 10 teams in 10 different leagues. So they're all mixing and playing with each other. You end up being friends with each other. You can't just be angry at
No, I'm
that.
telling like when you're wearing a
Yeah,
different.
you also have points deducted for that.
Yeah, I'm telling. See, when you're in the national jersey, you should be totally different. This league thing should not come into your mind. He's not your friend out there.
Yeah, but then that, see, agreed is your national jersey, it's your national team, but in the end, you're my friend. I can't hate you
Not
for
hate
that.
you. I mean,
We'll always have our
No,
inside
wait.
jokes.
No,
You
wait,
must have
wait.
seen the video,
Like,
the
this
clip
is
of
when we
see, this is
hang on.
yeah.
No. When we
No,
play,
wait,
when
let me-
we play, all three of us, when we have played, whether it's football or whether it's cricket, when the three of us have played, we do get into fights during the match, and
Yeah.
after the match, we are chill.
See, this is where
So
I say
that
like
point of time, I
Kohli
think-
has made a good point. Yes, Sean. Sorry, carry on. Your voice didn't reach on time.
No.
Your voice not reach on time. No, the what Virat Kohli used to say, like inside the pitch, it's totally different. Outside the pitch, I'm a friend of yours.
But Kohli is the one whose video is there of him dancing with Gail in the pitch.
They're playing for Bangalore together, but
No, this was with when Gail was in West Indies and Kohli was in India. So what happened? Kohli said,
no, I'm telling like this is what I used to like about the old Australian team. Like outside the match, after the match they come, they hug, they talk, like they hang out, everything. But inside the match, the psychological trauma they used to give their opponent was like different level.
yeah, but it's just changed. I mean, it's a different generation now. If you see our generation as parents, they're completely different as how our parents were to us. So it's just a change of generation. You can't just put it on this one that psychological warfare and all that. Although I do have to say one thing, we did say we'll discuss WWE in the podcast.
I literally was going to say it's like how we no longer have KFAB. I was literally going to say that. Like it's in wrestling you cannot have KFAB now. You know what KFAB is, right?
Yeah.
The storyline is there. You can't have KFAB now. Everybody is there on Instagram. So you see what's her name? Who's the Irish one? The so-called
Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch getting married to Seth Rollins and then taking her out of the picture because of the pregnancy and stuff like that. So you have see Instagram. These buggers have YouTube channels. There's something called as Up Down Down. If you have a chance to watch it. It's utterly insane. So you have that Austin Creed and all those people who are there, and they have a ball of a time. So if they are like mad each other in the ring during KFAB, on YouTube it's a complete different ballgame altogether. There's in fact an interview with Triple H where he says that initially during Vince McMahon's time, this could not be tolerated at all. Breaking the KFAB was something which you cannot do. Even Undertaker now he's getting into it of breaking the kayfabe and coming out and talking to people as Luke Gallows. So when you're talking about so Triple H comes around and says saying that when we opened up to the platform where the wrestlers had their own platform on Instagram, on YouTube, where they would have chats with each other, the relationship between the fans and the wrestlers came to a point where they could relate to some point, which increased the popularity of the player, of the wrestler, whether they went into heel or they went into face wrestler, whatever. So that in fact improved the fan base and increased the fan base of WWE. So
it did increase the fan base, but if you see around 30-40 years back, if two wrestlers were feuding against each other, they wouldn't even be in the same car. There were reports of fans going and stabbing wrestlers because they were angry at what they did to their favorite wrestler.
And the most popular thing is either CM Punk or it's Jericho or it is Hulk Hogan versus Macho Man. These two were the mad feud. And CM Punk, he has had fans come out and blast him for something else. Same thing with Jericho.
Another thing is like with our time zone and their time zone, as soon as the matches end, these days the show cards end, these people just tweets. That's the worst thing now. So you should not open your social media if you're someone who's following this, because you have to wait till you watch this, because otherwise you're going to see what happened.
I have honestly stopped watching WWE because I don't know. I used to like the Royal Rumble, and now that also they've ruined it somehow.
WrestleMania.
Wrestling has just become I don't know. It's just been really bad.
I mean,
Okay, so we're going to save wrestling for another podcast. Because in this
we can do one on the 90s wrestling though, but not now.
Like I don't know, it's like our Vince McMahon's era versus the current era. That is the best thing we can do.
Oh, that obvious. Everyone knows Vince McMahon's era is going to win. The current era has no one. I mean, your era is so bad that John Cena himself.
I know.
And he's
like you cannot see me now.
Yeah.
So, are you sure? Are you sure that you can't see him because he's not there, or because you can't see him?
He's not there now.
No, he's busy doing movies. He's doing movies now. He's like, I will do the Rock.
Okay. So we're gonna add Zishan into the mix, or maybe even one more person into the mix, so we have an even number of people on the podcast. and
Yeah.
then we will definitely talk about
Wrestling in detail.
this wrestling, because this is a huge thing which will, yeah, this will be fun. Okay, so I think
I
we'll
think
wind
we
up.
can easily divide also the wrestling one into whoever supports
Three
Rock
versus
and whoever
three.
supports Stone Cold.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Then this will become a 3-on-3 match over here, also triple threat match. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll wrap up. Is Nitin, you want to take the reins to wrap up?
Yeah, so picking up from what I said, like throw out your comments, guys. Like, what do you think about what we have discussed so far? Whether we were wrong or you guys have a different opinion to that. If monetization is really good for the game, it is really good. But if you think that it is really good, they need more money to it. So enlighten us. And you know the drill, guys. Hit the like button, subscribe it, and share the channel. And don't forget to hit the bell icon. And Sean, what do you say about the
Yes,
COVID
please.
precautions?
Yes. Before we get into COVID precautions, I'll just inform Rishi. Also, Rishi, we usually have this like a 5 second, 10 second segment on this thing where each speaker says their message to the people for COVID. Like, so what is your message
Ah,
for the people during the COVID times?
okay, can you guys do yours first because I have no idea what to say right now.
Okay, Sean, go.
Okay, people, please wash your hands. Stay safe. Stay home. Only go out if absolutely necessary. Since we're talking about monetization on sports and we're touching on sports, please try to ensure the fact that even if you're going for your local club matches or local matches, even if you're a player, please make sure that you come back home and have a nice bath, or just make sure that you don't go in a crowd or get stuck in a crowd. Be safe. We want our less listeners to increase and not reduce. So please stay safe, stay alive, and yeah, Rishi, that's what we do.
I think you said everything. What else can I say?
Use sanitizer properly.
You're the guest. You have to say
Yeah.
something.
Okay. Please take the coronavirus really seriously. It is really appalling that with the high number of deaths, especially in the US and India, there are people who are not taking it seriously. And I really urge you that you wear your mask and always wear gloves. No, just be safe. That's all I can say. And please do not disrespect your nurses and doctors because they are trying their level best to make sure that we are living healthy. And all I can say is I have massive respect for those who have become doctors, especially our generation. Thank you, parents who made some of us doctors and didn't send them into engineering. And yes, that's all I can say about the pandemic right now.
So,
Nitin, you have
guys, don't forget your mask. And going for club games or your football matches, please make sure when you come home, you leave the items outside, sanitize it properly, and get it inside because you might have elders in your home, and please don't put them in like in the risk. And use proper sanitation at times. Avoid crowds, and try to travel alone or try to avoid the crowd. Depend on online ordering or shopping or whatever you need, and try to even meet your friends digitally instead of like hanging out in a gang because you don't know who has the virus or not actually. So take proper care.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we are doing right
Yes,
now. We are meeting
digitally, yeah.
digitally.
So I was just going to say that. I was just going to say that
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
in the excuse of a podcast, we're catching up with nothing.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Sean, when are you coming over here?
I don't know, but I was there last when 2004, 15. Yeah, 2015 was the
Yeah, I
last.
think we met that time. We met that time. Yes, yes,
So
yes.
guys, that's it.
In 5 years.
Take proper care and take care because we need you alive and in one piece.
Pieces don't matter, but we need you alive.
And on that note, we're signing off. We will be available on Spotify, on Google Podcast, and also on Anchor. Or you can also visit the website where you can find our podcast upload on a regular basis. YouTube will be coming up later. And this is Sean signing off.
Nitin signing off.
Not Zishan signing off.
Uh, Rishi, thank you for joining us today. And I hope you
Thank you. I had a lot of fun, and I hope to see you guys soon. And bye bye.